So now black people been tricked again from a worse devil than Trump because you don't see pictures with Biden around black people when it's thing. Regardless of your emotional opinion, those who do vote, I do not, because I understand the circus, but vote for those who do vote, I would say you niggas had ever gotten no motherfucking check from a president. None of them. You haven't gotten shit but hip hop and sports and murder, death, and mayhem and nigga movies.
And that's the whole
trauma.
And that's the whole thing right there.
Damn, that's depressing.
What you want that is depressing. So sad. You know, what's the good thing about being a nigga? You feel me? We get to complain about being niggas. I guess that's it right there. But they don't. Y'all want to be like us. No, not be like us, but imitate the image that they put on black people.
You guys teach cobblers.
Y'all don't want to go through none of the drama though, or the trauma. You want to walk, talk, whoop de whoop, and swoop whoop whoop. Oh no! I'm over here with my cousin Eric. Like no.
And then and if something were to pop off, black people are so disorganized, and the rest of the world has been programmed to look at us a certain way.
Correct.
It would be trouble for us because you see all these gangster rappers, all these people. Where are you guys? Only Cube seems to be saying something now.
Right.
You had Cardi B.
That's a business.
So what they did is months prior they did mental mind control programming.
Go ahead.
And so they used certain celebrities months ago. Yeah. So when this is why they brought back the NBA, because the NBA players have boycotted. They stopped playing, and that got black people thinking. Yeah. They said, "Oh no!
Don't do that! Don't do that!
You niggas gotta play. You gotta play." Then they give them the sympathy. Oh, if you have families, it's like, nah, homie.
Right.
You talk about multi-millionaires, brother. Right. They're good.
And they said that they were gonna, they said, and LeBron. And then one thing I never liked about that whole thing is they said that they're going to go to the NBA and use their platform in a big way, and all we've seen was Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter. Do you feel that did anything? What does that do? Black Lives Matter on the court, people with their jersey. Yes, we could say awareness will make you think, but now it's a slogan.
Man, they just get more donations.
And that's why we have to have a contract with Black America.
Listen, like you said, he has a higher power that he had to go on the floor. If you could recall back, LeBron said, "I'm not playing with no fans." He looked in the camera and said, "I won't play with fans."
Check this out.
LeBron played with no fans.
Check this out.
So you have to understand that powers of B. Yeah,
that's real talk.
Rest in peace, Kobe Bryant.
Rest in peace.
You know.
Hey man, but look though, that whole Black Lives Matter thing. I mean, cool for sure. It did the pumping, but have anybody ever really read their actual goal, like their overall thing?
Yes.
Not putting no hate on what they did, cause whatever how they got to do it, they did it, and it spread it through the whole world, and everybody on that shit, and it's cool now, whatever. But they don't include men in the hereafter.
Yes.
It's all about women
sexist,
and including the LGBTQIA, which I don't have nothing against, but it's like they make the men like they're anti-masculinity.
Right.
And why? It's a feminist movement.
Mind control.
That's about
it's mind
changing
control.
The family structure and making sure that only women having power, as if their power doesn't sit on masculine force.
But is it time for women to rise?
As soon as men lose power of the military, women lose power.
Right. So
men protect women's power.
Who would you want to be
president? They act like they don't know that. Y'all act like y'all
put it on the Navy SEALs.
Stop.
Put it on the Navy SEAls. Now, everyone needs to be informed. See, I graduated from Notre Dame High School, All-American CIF. But the point is that
did you see how he threw that shit in there?
We had to.
And I got a big dick, mommy.
but what I'm saying is that you had to take religious classes, and there were advanced classes that most brothers really couldn't take. You had to get up there, and eventually, like your senior year, you could get to that religious class with the hard teacher. It was hard class. They would talk about the CIA, how the Vatican Church basically went to war and all this stuff and controls this, and that Bin Laden and Al Qaeda were created by the U.S. government and trained by us. So all these things I learned in high school. So I always was on it. So we learned that all these are mock trials and a lot of things are fake. So it says, did you know over 20 Navy SEALs who allegedly killed Osama bin Laden are now dead? Because they had said that when they went, they knew it was a dummy. Because first of all, I come from a military family. You can't dump no Muslim like that in the ocean, even if it's at war. Especially, you can't. That's like there's certain rules to war.
Yes,
a lot
it
of
is.
people watch movies, but they don't understand if they had really done that to the real Bin Laden, shit.
It'd
You
be
know
a
how
problem.
easy it is. The terrorists are already here. The Asians ones are already here. The Middle Easterns, they own all the gas stations.
Right.
Huh.
Right.
Huh. What
That's
you
real
think that's
talk.
for? I'm serious.
Fuck no.
And then you see the computers.
Boom. That's
You
a
know
good
there's
one.
something in these computers.
Oh yeah.
Now all the cars are electrical. You remember Maximum Overdrive, that horror film? Well, it talked about how well, now you see that they can monitor you. They have things
Everything.
on Netflix. So we already see that AI is taking over.
Look, man, you can't even talk about nothing without it popping up in the ads on your social media.
Fuck Earth, I'm leaving.
Hey, man, I'm with you, man. What a ship at?
Well, here we go, and that's the whole
Shit.
point
Where
we're
that
talking
motherfucker
about. So basically, it lets us know that it's all a show, that it's fake, and then we forget about war. We forget about all these things on how the economy is being crashed
Yeah,
by the
man, that shit is
Democrats,
deep.
like they say now, the Democrats. And so now we have to look at
I
this
like
party that's been contributing the thought process of black people. Obama, he led in the transgender movement,
Exactly.
the homosexual movement, the
Right.
Tyler Perry movement, and much love to all people, but that hypnotized black people to accept a certain behavior that 50 years ago was shunned. Now, it's not to say that that gate should not have been open and that people aren't of love, but we clearly see that that agenda is being pushed. Why? Because that's genocide. As if black people already don't produce like they should at a high rate, and then that behavior is accepted as the new normal, like Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union
And-
with her new Fox show.
Come on, bro.
It talks about it's brainwashing. So all of this lets us know we're in a matrix.
Very heavy.
We're in a society that's pre-programmed from 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, December, November, October. They actually holidays, and you've seen how all this shit's being shut down. So for those who are thinking it should show you that we're in an artificial reality that gave you a God to believe in, gave you a history that we clearly see is false. And so if Trump or Biden, here's what I say, I don't vote, but for me, I would say, if I did vote, I would vote for Trump in the essence of not emotions, but because I know that regardless of racism, I grew up in a middle class family. So I grew up around white people. I grew up around them. Even I have friends who are white, but at the end of the day, most of them, not all, will slip up.
How did you keep your blackness?
Slip up in what?
Slip up with their racist ways and show their true culture because they're raised different too.
Right.
Their parents weren't taught the truth.
It come right out.
Right. So I'd
Right.
rather fuck with a Trump than a Biden, a racist ass who never kicked it with black people, doesn't have a clue of us.
My nigga, he's
You know?
honest, bro. I would rather an honest white man to be in there than some old. First of all, Biden is old and burnt out. He moved too slow. He's not excited.
Imagine if he dies
Nigga, it's
and Kamala
2020.
Harris becomes
Bro,
president.
that's
That would be
that's
nuts.
exactly-
This whole
But
country would go
I do wanna-
crazy.
Bro, come on.
Can you imagine that
do wanna
shit?
Do
say
you
this.
want Kamala to be the president?
No.
Fuck no.
She's not even black. Have you seen her parents?
Shit.
Fuck no,
You
bro.
want- remember
Well,
that?
there they are, niggers.
Here's what's gonna happen.
That part.
Here's what's gonna
Jamaican, her mama
happen.
is-
Green lives matter.
But she could, but she claimed her mama claimed Caucasian on her mother's. You know,
Yeah,
she claimed
it's really- well, you gotta-
Caucasians
The
claim
thing
they're
with her, I-
Caucasian.
Indian though.
I hate to discount and take away people's blackness, but people take away their own blackness sometimes.
By their
Meaning-
own character.
Correct. So
Nigger
when
stripping.
I asked her about reparations, she discounted reparations and said she didn't want to do
Yeah,
anything specific
nothing.
for
Thank you,
black
Chad.
And
people.
she was like, "Oh, now."
Yeah, right. And then the way she said it,
The way she
kinda-
said it.
she snapped back. Was like, "I'm not doing anything for black people."
Right.
Specifically,
I saw that. I saw that.
People got to look at the way
I saw
she
that.
moved when she did it.
It was
Free sign, you ain't a nigga.
For two,
Right. Yeah.
For two, you have to realize
video.
about Kamala Harris is this: if your lineage doesn't line up with slavery, and we're talking about reparations, repairs for something that's America's greatest sin is slavery, as everybody knows.
Oh, that.
Okay,
Human rights.
If you're talking about something that ties to that, and you have no ties to that, you're not gonna give a shit about it.
You're not
We can
gonna-
say that
right.
over and over. You're from Jamaica and you're Indian. Regardless,
Obama.
yeah, you might have went through slavery, or you might be due for something
We're
else.
talking politics, just like how the white boy, right here. This is our country.
Correct.
Go back to your country if you don't
So
like
you
this
have all
country.
these-
like the same way they feel like that. We feel the same way about our blackness and what we represent.
Correct.
We don't want some foreigner with her bloodline goes to foreign
Yes.
connection through
Yes.
ancestry.
Yes.
Where do white people come from?
What?
And it's
Wait,
nothing
Gooby has a
against.
question.
It's nothing against our brothers from
Thank you,
different
Jason.
islands
Gooby,
and
this
is a
different
claim we're talking
lands
about.
that poke up out the ground, but it's not
Philip.
about the disconnection.
Niggers are loud.
It's about politics. Y'all talk about the Bill of Rights and all that and the amendments. That's American shit, right?
P's
All
and
right, then.
Q's.
Nigga,
Gooby has a question.
come on, bruh. What's
What's up,
poppin'?
Gooby?
Because you said Caucasians, and we're bringing up labels, census forms. So I wonder, when you vote, do they ask if you're African American? You know.
Where
Interesting.
do white people come from?
Are Caucasians?
Caucasus Mountains.
Okay, because remember, white and black are terms.
And I want to say everybody
Like
comes
white
from
people
Africa.
come.
Let me ask you this.
Really?
I want to say something about that really quick.
African
I'll
word
be
too.
quick.
Go for it.
If everybody comes from Africa, right, and that's the original place, scientists, we can all pull that up on YouTube. That's
They've
the
proven
original.
it. I was there.
Where and when is the time where people started to say, hey, I've branched off for so long, we're now going to be called the Caucasians. And we've branched off for so long, we're now going to be called
Extraterrestrials.
this.
Well, hey, I can answer that.
Extraterrestrials.
The word Africa means Afrique. It's a statement of color.
Right.
Caucus
From
is from the
Africanus.
mountains. Every race will tag on to something where they're from.
Africa is named after a white person.
Yeah.
It means
Correct.
division.
Leo Africanus. That's
It
his
means
name.
division.
My point on what I was
Yeah,
saying
Gooby
was,
knew his shit.
You African Americans are we have a specificity to us, okay?
Right.
We have a lot of people, which black is they use as, I want to say, an umbrella. Well, hang under black, okay? And Kamala Harris falls under that. Saying, hey, yo, she's black. She wears Timberland. She puts hot sauce on chicken. She's black.
Right.
Put on Dr. Umar.
Is that all it takes?
Dr. Umar picture.
Apparently. And the whole point of me bringing that
No,
up
you
is I
haven't.
can get black people, African Americans, in a lot of trouble.
Dr. Umar.
Is when you have a person that
It's a
says that
picture.
they're African American and they're not, and especially they're being power. When they're
Dr.
making
Umar
rules,
Johnson.
they'll have rules and they'll have
Yeah, on there.
different bills that won't fall in place for an African American black person.
Specifics.
Specifics.
What other
And the
pictures
whole
do
thing
you-
about it is like,
That's
why do I have to keep on claiming Africa if it has nothing to do with an
Nothing to do-
alliance
Right.
based
Yeah,
on
that's
my
what it is.
culture?
Yes.
There's nothing about me being African American
Why'd you
that
do
makes that gives me power in Africa.
Correct. So
Besides the color of my skin
Correct.
tone, because because my skin obviously is not black, but that was the expression of dark color in other languages, Latin, Negro, like what old girl Jennifer Lopez got blasted for using the term
Black.
I'm a negrita.
Nigga.
She said negrita or
Oh,
something like
she
that.
said-
Yo,
so she didn't say
in
black, I heard
no.
it.
She it was a song. She was like, oh yeah,
niggas.
they'll never forget the negrita, which means it can mean pretty girl or something like that.
That's what
But
I'm
also negrita obviously has the negro roll to it, like a feminine,
But
a
in
dark
New
skin.
York-
It's like wet black.
Well,
and
she
it's
did
identifying the
this.
black
Diddy put
Latino.
her on, and she stepped away.
The negrita
And she fucked with
identifies the
niggas.
black Latino. That's the
Right,
difference.
and because in New York, see, us in California, unfortunately, because of the prison system we created by Biden and all these racist, huh?
She was.
Who?
Jennifer Lopez.
Jennifer Lopez.
Oh,
She was a
yeah,
dancer
okay,
on
yeah.
Living
So
Color.
what I'm saying is that the relationship with so-called Latinos
Yeah.
is different than New York. They have love. When you go to New York, you see like Fat Joe.
Yeah.
Be like, I'm a nigga. I'm
Yeah,
black.
I'm a nigga. I'm black. I'm
Have
black.
a lot of
Like, yeah.
have a lot of
But
Latins
most
and blacks
Mexicans-
made.
But most
made
Mexicans
families.
in California
Don't represent
they
like
don't
that.
represent that. But
No.
but now, like, I went to college with the Mecha organization. So these are Mexicans who understand that the Spanish came and raped them, and that the original people of Mexico are black. Because real Mexicans who have their heritage
Somebody answer that
know
goddamn phone.
that they actually were created when the Spanish came and raped the indigenous people here on this side.
In the southern.
Balboa, Cortez. So there were two invasions. Once there were the Pilgrims, that invasion on the East Coast, and then the Spanish invasion out here on the West
South
Coast.
America.
Right.
Right?
You know, out here on the West Coast.
Right.
Right. And so we're taught that the Aztecs and Mayans built the pyramids. But in all actuality, the Aztecs and Mayans teach that they came into that and they came from the Olmecs.
Right.
And then it goes to the question, wait, who are the Olmecs? Niggas! The Nagas, black people,
White people
the
are just
original
fucking with
people.
everybody,
So
huh?
then it goes out of Africa. So then it goes to, wait, there was one land, what they call Pangea, and this was all what they would call Wakanda, that black people were actually intelligent and not in today's condition, and that's why they hide history, is because if the world found out that the original people were advanced and that a group of people have been lying to everyone and that extraterrestrials gave them all this technology and information to shut down black people who are the creators of all humans, it's either unity or a war against the government. And that's the whole point, is that if people are taught the truth about black history and world history from the true point of view, outside of the so-called Caucasian white man's view, they have an opportunity to see the truth. Then you can make the decision, and that's how humans can come together and not fight against each other, but go against and overthrow the fucking government. We the people. You know?
That's a knowledge thing. I like that they said, I think you might have posted something I seen where they have a black school or somebody came out with a that's pretty much what it's gonna take. Is
a school scam.
It's a knowledge thing. If you come over, just come over. If you're white, if you're a person that's an immigrant, any descent, without having knowledge of what happened here before you got here or your people got here, you're gonna be lost and very disrespectful in a lot of different ways. It's kind of like you going to Japan or something.
Do you mean that when you come into this country, they teach you a certain perception of black people in this country? So, like Africans who come to America,
I don't agree.
Completely different.
I don't think they teach you anything when you come into this country. I don't think nothing's taught. I think things are learned off what they see. You see a lot of racism.
You have to, in order to become a U.S. citizen, you have to watch videos.
But that.
Shit, it's mind control.
You gotta hear me out. I don't believe it's like that. I believe, though, they do see an abundance of racism towards African Americans.
All the movies that they show overseas,
I'm agreeing.
Niggas acting like fucking monkeys, not as gods. Where are all the Egypt movies?
They don't have to.
And then Cleopatra is not going to be portrayed as a sister.
That we're niggas. Because that's all they show you on movies. And the best black people is the niggas. The loud, big black woman.
They say Africans.
The blingin' nigga. The loud, the gangster,
and what
the
do you feel
whore.
about, all right, so the school system.
Man. They say Africans have a talk before they're allowed to come over here about engaging with African Americans.
Yes, they have to.
Africans have a talk saying, hey, you're
what?
Yes.
Oh, yes. See, this is the problem. Yes.
Is there a nigga quota?
What they call?
No, you're coming to go deal. They call what?
Akata.
Tell me about this.
That means nigga.
I believe it's a Nigerian term. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Akata.
But I believe it's a Nigerian term. Akata. You're told to stay away from the Akatas. Don't marry an Akata girl. They're trying to take all your money. Don't get with the Akata niggas.
You gonna be their baby mama.
You stay away from them. You're not an Akata.
And then can you blame them because socially, so-called black Americans, like you said, ADOS, those are descendants of slaves, are indigenous people who were captured.
Correct.
So we're not slaves. We're prisoners of war. We're prisoners of war. So let's not call each other slaves anymore now on What is the Matrix. Let's say we're prisoners of war.
Kill Whitey.
But look, check this out. Even
that state of mind.
Even ADOS or FBAs or whatever you want to call it, we still have the same judgment against black people. Oh, I don't fuck with I love black people, but I hate niggas.
Very true.
So we have our own perceptions, just that we can filter it better.
That's a very good analogy.
In the fucking land. So we have our own racism against black people.
Within
based on basic stereotypes. They may not be in a situation where they knew how to walk correct, how to respond correctly without using terms to intimidate. Because they're taught to intimidate everybody because you're supposed to just be the tough guy. So walk around and be intimidated. So they walk around, nigga, what you look at that, cuz? Hey, blood, where you from, bro? Like, they stand on that shit.
Stand on it.
Well, that's the conditioning, and that's why we're talking about. So Dr. Umar Johnson versus Lord Jamar.
That's a good one.
You know, we talk about reform, like Ice Cube with the contract, which basically comes from the Nation of Islam, Elijah, and all that.
100%.
You know, in the 1920s, brothers came out with Message to the Black Man that was teaching us how we were gods, the original people, not just from the land that they call Africa, but also Asia. So now we're learning history in the 1920s. You talk about teachers who created the Malcolms. These teachings still last in its representation. our representation in the media and in the history is nothing but negativity.
100%.
The representation is not us as gods or kings and queens
Right.
and creators of civilization, but the bottom of the barrel. Second, Ice Cube says is lending reform. So we'll talk about banks and things of that nature.
Definitely.
Because we know that Wall Street, the first people or products sold on Wall Street was what?
Black people.
That's right.
Black.
So we know that the banking system was
hot
literally
commodity.
started off the blood, sweat, and tears of black people.
Yeah.
So it's interesting when they say black people should not receive reparations because it's almost as if anyone who's against reparations is either racist or doesn't have the proper knowledge on why we say we need it.
And they're
It's
not, and they
you're
know
not
their
informed.
bloodline don't come from here.
Niggas with money is scary. That's what they think.
Need to real. Germans, I'm sorry, whites, when they let slaves go, they were given reparations.
I can't hear you.
Just Indians,
Yeah. Okay.
they all got their money, and that was that.
We'll talk.
All right. So we're going to take a quick break and we're going to go into it. So when we ended with this, we were talking about the contract with Black America, you know, on What is the Matrix TV and the importance of voting or not voting. And if you don't vote, why? And if you are voting, knowing both candidates and not being a black person who's voting off of emotion, but on what's best for our people. Because in the last 50 years since we integrated with white people, we've been failing. So the 1954 Act versus Brown versus Board of Education for me was a failure. For me, black people integrating with white people was the worst thing that we could have done as a people. And let's talk about it when we get
I think it's
back.
time for a break. I gotta pee.
Activate.
They say a nigga hot, they say I won't stop. And when I reach the top, I'ma scream thunder rock. They say a nigga hot, they say I won't stop. And when I reach the top, I'ma scream thunder rock. They say a nigga hot, they say I won't stop. And when I reach the top, I'ma scream thunder rock. They say a nigga hot, they say I won't stop. And when I reach the top, I'ma scream thunder rock. African dashiki, Uncle around my neck, got his ISIS tatted on my belly, all about respect. I do it for the cause, I live for my queens, all my niggas kings, captain of my team. Life is just a dream, life ain't what it seems. You're just a player in the game if you don't own the league. Hop on the magic carpet, fly with me to a whole new world that they call Elm Street. Stay away from haters, stay away from busters, because in Never Land ain't no room for these suckers. Stay away from haters, stay away from busters, because in Never Land ain't no room for these suckers. They say a nigga hot, they say I won't stop. And when I reach the top, I'ma scream thunder rock. They say a nigga hot, they say I won't stop. And when I reach the top, I'ma scream thunder rock. They say a nigga hot, they say I won't stop. And when I reach the top, I'ma scream thunder rock. They say a nigga hot, they say I won't stop. And when I reach the top, I'ma scream thunder rock.
Oh my dear Mr. Williams. Information is power. If you don't have the information, one cannot seize power. You need to think about becoming mentally competitive. Being black does not free you from being a responsible individual.
Riverside, the turf, we in another zone. So futuristic, welcome to the Thunderdome. Posted in the hood, the homie got the chrome. And if you niggas tripping, silver bullets getting blown. Chicken with real killers that'll kill you at your home. And if you niggas tripping, your body hitting the flow. Fuck the police is the code that I live by. Kill a pig, cook the swine, fuck the cop, I hope they die. Black man in America, I'm not opposed to shine. Living in this white man's world is a waste of time.
Black man in America, I'm not opposed to shine. Living in this white man's world is a waste of time.
They say a nigga hot, they say I won't stop. And when I reach the top, I'ma scream thunder rock. They say a nigga hot, they say I won't stop. And when I reach the top, I'ma scream thunder rock. They say a nigga hot, they say I won't stop. And when I reach the top, I'ma scream thunder rock. They say a nigga hot, they say I won't stop. And when I reach the top, I'ma scream thunder rock. Thunder rock, thunder rock, thunder rock.
EventStreams.us has all your audio and video production needs. Live stream, record, and edit any event with packages to fit every budget, large or small. Stream your wedding, birthday party, sporting event, concert, or performance. Start a podcast, talk show, or broadcast your church service every Sunday. If you could dream it, we can stream it. Again, that's eventstreams.us, streaming live content online since 2009.
Hello, America. We have a major decision soon, and we want to know that we are ready as a people to ready get busy. Are we not ready? We want to make sure that you get out to vote and keep our brethren president. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming and the rocket's red glare? The niggers didn't see the bombs in the air. We crept in at times of night, and our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Yeah. For the land, I said, for the land of the free and the home of the slave.